The Joker, whether you love him, hate him, or morbidly sympathize with him, it is undeniable that he is one of the most intricate and influential characters out there. His history and personality have undergone through so much development that it brings up several questions. Is he insane or just ahead of the curve? Is he materialistic or idealistic? Is he nothing more than a homicidal clown, or does he have a point regarding how society works? To explore the character's complexity, we'll be examining his progress throughout the comic books while comparing and contrasting his other iterations in the movie industry. Most importantly though, did Joaquin Phoenix's Joker correctly represent what we imaged the Joker to be, or is he just a namesake? To dive into the complexities of the Joker, we have to look through three different lenses. 1. The development and actions of the character throughout the decades. 2. His origins and if the character can work despite having multiple iterations. And finally, 3. The ideologies of what the Joker can represent and bring to the audience. And if it wasn't obvious already, I will be talking about the new Joker movie, so if you have not seen it, I highly suggest you do, but if you don't care, well, you've been warned. Spoilers ahead. Before we begin, I'd like to give a huge thanks to our sponsor being Raid Shadow Legends. You might already be tired of hearing about this game, but I would really appreciate it if you guys watch this as it does support me and the channel out a lot. Raid Shadow Legends is an RPG-based game with millions of players strong who have given the game a near-perfect score. It has an immersive storyline, really good graphics, a plethora of champions and artifacts that you can level up and customize to your liking, and the dopest part about this game? It's free. The game encourages frequent play by giving you daily login bonuses, and the new Faction Wars feature is now live with an ever-growing player community. I also found the game to be really smooth as well. You can find me in the game under the nickname below, and if you are quick enough, you can also join my clan. So what are you waiting for? Go to the video description, click on the special links, and you will get 50,000 silver and a free epic champion as part of the new player program to start your journey. So good luck, and I'll see you there. During the 1940s, the Joker was showcased as being a cold-blooded criminal as he killed people without remorse, whether it was with a gun, some silly gadget, or his iconic laughing gas, which left people with a creepy, contorted smile. Unlike some other iterations of the Joker, he was heavily materialistic as he loved money, expensive items, and gems. He also set out to cause chaos all throughout Gotham City by derailing trains, causing car accidents, and putting poison into medicine. Yeah, he's a pretty sketchy dude. Unfortunately, the Joker's darker tones were heavily leveled down due to the Comics Code Authority being founded in 1954. The Comics Code Authority was created in response to the general public and critics blaming comic books for teenage violence, rebellion, and delinquency. Does this sound familiar to what we're dealing with right now? I mean, we have the media falsely blaming video games and movies for causing violence, but I don't know about you guys, but I grew up reading comics, blasting away at the Covenant in Halo 3, dismantling pantheons of gods in God of War, and shooting countless zombies until the sun came up in Black Ops, and I don't know, I think I turned out just fine. Due to the censorship, over the years, the Joker devolved into more of a goofy, comedic relief type of character who more so wanted to play pranks in the Batman rather than do outright evil things. As time went on, comic books were finally able to gain their balls back and explore darker themes and showcase just how grim and real life can be. It wasn't until the late 1980s in which we got two of the most iconic and dark Joker storylines, that being The Killing Joke and Death in the Family. In The Killing Joke, the Joker heads off to Commissioner Gordon's house in which he shoots Barbara Gordon right in front of him, paralyzing her from the waist down. The Joker and his men then take her clothes off and he begins photographing her, and although we don't know the exact specifics of what happened to her, let's just say it wasn't sunshine and rainbows. The Joker proceeds to take Commissioner Gordon to a carnival where he puts him on a ride where he has to see everything that was photographed. The reason that the Joker did this was to show Commissioner Gordon that it only takes one bad day to turn the sanest man into a mental wreck. And although the Joker failed to break Gordon, it definitely left a wound in his soul and mind. In Death in the Family, Jason Todd, the second Robin, tries to go on a quest to find his real mother since his former parents had passed away. He eventually finds her, unfortunately working with the Joker, and then the Joker finds out and ends up beating him down with a crowbar. He then decides to leave mother and son in a warehouse with a ticking time bomb, literally. Once the Batman does reach the warehouse, or the now exploded one, he finds Jason Todd dead, which definitely left him emotionally broken. For one of the few times in his career as Batman, he heavily contemplated killing the Joker once and for all, which although wasn't explicitly the Joker's goal, just the fact that he was pushing Batman to break his one rule says a lot. Although the Batman didn't end up killing the Joker, the experience left him so broken that he was getting sloppy and received numerous injuries in his line of duty against common thugs when he normally wouldn't have to begin with. Alfred realizes this and states that he needs to get his head back into the game or that he'll end up dead. This correlates to The Dark Knight when Batman tries to find the whereabouts of Harvey Dent and Rachel Dawes, which pushes him to beat down the Joker while he laughs maniacally, stating that he'd have to break his one rule to save one of them, which Batman admitted to considering. Although Nolan's Batman didn't break, in the DC cinematic universe, we learned that the Joker in this iteration managed to kill off Robin, which probably was the reason as to why the Batman was pushed so much to the edge that he abandoned his code to not kill criminals. He showcases this in Batman vs Superman by unrelentingly killing thugs when trying to get kryptonite and when he beats down on Superman's ass near the end of the movie. One of the criticisms that Joaquin Phoenix's Joker movie received is that the Joker wasn't loyal to the character's origin and demeanor, but it is really redundant because the Joker himself has said that his past is murky, that he sometimes remembers it one way, sometimes another. In regards to his past, he prefers it to be multiple choice. One of his early appearances revealed him to be the original Red Hood who was a criminal mastermind that was really materialistic. While in The Killing Joke, although it does connect to this original appearance, the Joker was actually a lab worker who quit his job in attempts to become a comedian in order to provide for his pregnant wife. So he decided to reach out to some thugs who said that they wanted to break into this lab that he used to work in to get money from it. Unfortunately, before the heist occurred, the cops actually let Joker know that his wife had died in a freak accident, so that's already a really bad day to begin with. In order to conceal his identity, the thugs decide to give the Joker the Red Hood, stating that it has been worn by multiple people, already giving even more murkiness as to who the original Red Hood was. The operation ends up going haywire and the Joker runs away from the cops until the Batman eventually has him cornered. Having no choice, the Joker decides to jump into a chemical vat, and once he came out, it left him disfigured, giving him his iconic green hair, white skin, and plump red lips. Due to his appearance, this is what allegedly drove the Joker to insanity, and it is one plausible explanation as to why the Joker dislikes the Batman so much. The origin with the Red Hood and the Killing Joke are once again explored in Batman 450, which makes it even more plausible that this is the origin story, but it is still murky at best. To make it even more confusing, in the New 52, when the Batman has the Mobius chair, which essentially granted him nigh omniscience, he learns that there are actually 3 Jokers and not just one, implying that there isn't one definite Joker. The main point is that the Joker isn't tied to one specific narrative, personality, or origin, and that as long as the main core functions are in there, is what makes the Joker, and that is what I'm about to get into. The Joker has gone through different ideologies and interests depending on which iteration you're talking about. During the early days, he was very materialistic, and his original Red Hood appearance also had him lust for money and expensive items. This is a direct foil to Heath Ledger's Joker, who didn't see an importance in money or luxuries, as he was more idealistic than materialistic. You see, the Joker's goal was to expose the hypocrisy in Gotham and prove that even the most uncorruptible, positive figures in society could go back on their moral code. Harvey Dent was introduced as being Gotham's White Knight, who essentially did what Batman did, which was to put criminals behind bars and minimize corruption. Except that he did so within the quote-unquote legal boundaries of the justice system without being a vigilante. After Rachel Dawes was killed, Harvey abandoned this viewpoint and instead saw morality through a coin, that bad or good actions could be decided upon by chance and by what was fair. In fact, this compares to what the Joker was trying to do in The Death in the Family, which was to push Batman to abandon his code of not killing criminals. The Joker further exposes the corruption within the Gotham City Police Department by asking Commissioner Gordon if he's sure that his people are truly his people and not Maroni's. He further adds on to this by saying that when things go wrong, aka when things don't go according to plan, that people will start acting on primal instincts and start consuming each other, forgetting what morality truly is. The Joker is an agent of chaos, and he wanted to exemplify that everything burns and that deep down, people are really awful and selfish. Joaquin's Joker was a character who didn't exactly behave nor think like the usual Joker we think of, as he was merely going with the flow of the atrocities and awful state that Gotham City was in. Instead of causing the chaos, this Joker is caught in the chaos that the city was already in to begin with. After losing access to his meds and being fired from his job after doing the really stupid play of bringing a gun into a child's hospital, I mean, who does that? He felt more hopeless and even more broken. He makes you feel sorry for him and makes you sympathize with his emotions. On the other hand, Heath Ledger's Joker makes you think that he's like a badass or maybe some twisted maniac, and he is a more developed character, while with Arthur, he is more so the origin point of how the Joker came to be. However, the thing that bothered me about the movie was that you couldn't really tell if Arthur Fleck was damaged because he did not have it tattooed on his forehead. Throughout the movie, Arthur felt more and more distressed, and he kept his cool until he eventually snapped and killed 3 people on the subway, which inadvertently started a whole movement to overthrow the rich. Instead of feeling horrified, he embraced his true self, put on his clown makeup, and decided to add more fuel to the fire once he went on to the Murray Franklin show. He explained that if he would have died that day on the subway, that nobody would have even cared. Since Gotham's system failed him, he saw his actions of shooting Murray as being a fair exchange, and due to this chaos, Bruce Wayne's parents were killed, essentially causing the Joker to create his own nemesis. One of the most interesting parts about Joaquin's Joker is that you see his evolution synchronized with the soundtrack. You see his whole demeanor, his behavior, and his appearance change as the movie progresses. Generally, Joaquin's Joker isn't supposed to be like the Joker to be the Joker. What I mean by this is that he accomplished his goal, like the other Jokers, to make people realize that maybe people aren't always so great. Society isn't always so innocent and black and white. That people should introspect before they try to judge upon another person. Or at least, that is what I got from it. In the end, what to take from this is that the Joker isn't tied to one narrative or one character. The character's roots are embedded in causing disorder and exposing the fragility and hypocrisy within the so-called heroes of the story. So these iterations might compare and contrast, but they all share one common theme. They are the bringers of chaos, whether it be purposefully or inadvertently. And most importantly, they make the audience realize that we really do live in a society. Thanks for watching.